intro, and it's gone.
How much time we got?
Right, like a couple seconds.
Welcome everybody to Windy City Savage. We are live. I am Joe Madness, and to the right of me, we got Zach the Mac, and I forgot this guy's name.
Oh my gosh, TDK, everybody! Jeez, TDK. What's up, people?
All right, so we got titties. Anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's your boy Zach the Mac. What's going on? Yeah.
all righty, guys, let's get into the news, and we're off to the races. A couple of releases. One of the
Mhm.
biggest ones happened to be Ricky Starks.
Was very shocking. Well, I won't say shocking per se, because I think he was kind of predetermining that during his interviews a little bit, already kind of mentioning it. So,
Well,
not too bad, but it's
was-
good.
It was kind of shocking because we know the history of Tony Khan, and he doesn't like releasing nobody
Mhm.
until their contract is completely up. So the fact that he finally let them go,
Yeah.
it was him, it was Miro. I might be forgetting one more person as well, but it was
Aleister
just
Black.
was it Aleister Black? It might have been.
Well, because
Aleister.
I think that's what they're speculating him too, possibly, just because we haven't seen him.
Right. Yeah, so but definitely those are the two biggest names, Miro and Ricky Stark.
Mm.
And then it's funny, once Ricky Stark got released, the next day, the following day,
Yeah.
we seen him in NXT.
Yeah.
That is
Yep.
just a crazy sight to see, like the following day. I mean, that just reminds you of like the old Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
You know?
Back
Just-
and forth, timing makes preference, and like it sets it up for good television.
Yeah, I mean, that was
I
shocking.
think the quicker you can make your TV debut, I think that's better. Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like if you're gonna switch platforms, the quicker you can get on the next platform is.
Especially if you're hot and relevant on one section,
Yeah.
you don't want to kind of let the crowd.
What's his name?
calm
Who
down
just
a little
Ricochet, for example. When,
Oh.
when we heard Ricochet was leaving,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
he TV debuted pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Like I think their next event, I think it was one of their pay-per-view events. He just shows up, becomes an opponent and whatnot. Or whatever.
That was good. I think it's
Like
good.
it didn't take a whole year. It didn't take a couple months. It took just within that same month, if I'm not mistaken. So
I think that's best
it
for
was-
their career for
it
sure.
is what it is, and
Yeah.
it's I guess you would say it's not. I'm not shockingly surprised by it, only because it's like we see what's going on with WWE. At this point, they're on Netflix now. They need they need content, especially if Netflix is interested in them wanting to stay at 3 hours per se or whatever.
Mhm.
It's like you need positions to fill spots.
Well,
So
what
why
I've
not?
been hearing is on the CW, NXT has been doing good numbers so far, generating pretty well numbers. I think they're like
Good.
at the 800.
Nice.
views
That's
range.
very good.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
I mean,
think
because CW right now doesn't have any more of the Arrowverse or
Not,
whatever. it
not
gets to
only
be.
that, I think the
More
time.
content.
I think the time the NXT is coming out is very good too.
well,
I guess,
that
yeah.
and then it's on a public channel. right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
so it's
exactly.
easier to access. It's just like SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, it was easier to access at that point.
they
which was-
solidified a good slot. I think. Yeah,
Yeah, which is more views. But personally, man, I do think it was the right move on Ricky Starks. I also think it's the right move on Tony Khan to
Mhm.
finally release these guys. I mean, what is the point of keeping them? You know, there's no value to it. You're not going to use them. You don't
Right.
want to use them. Personally, if
Right.
you had them, a great talent like Ricky Starks, Malachi, which was released,
Yeah,
and then Miro, squash them, job them out.
yeah.
Put over your younger stars. Why not? You have
Right.
them there. You're paying them. Whether they like it or not, they got a job out. They got to do the job. Look at Ricochet.
Yeah.
Got jobbed out.
Gotta do the job.
Exactly.
You got to do the job. You got to do whatever the bosses tells you because you're under contract. Now, if you breach the contract, they're in trouble, and that's a whole
Correct.
different field. But regardless, if that's the case and you don't want to use them, get rid of them. And that's what he finally did. He finally listened. I don't understand why though.
Yeah.
What took so long and what got into his head finally? But I mean, makes sense.
Exactly. I think the timing of it and the position, how it kind of all came out to be, is where things kind of fans want to understand more. And I think maybe that's a good thing about what Tony Khan has over there in AEW, where a lot of the information doesn't get leaked out too well, keeps a lot of stuff in house to where the decisions, it's more or less of, well, who's making really those big decisions?
Right.
Obviously, we're thinking Tony Khan, but what if there's other people that's kind of involved in with the communications in the sense of the contract or the how the show is being played out or whatever, what's being said at that point. So,
Exactly. So that's the good part. As far as Ricky Starks showing up in NXT, I think it's definitely going to bring eyes to the product. And I
Mhm.
think, so put it this way, Triple H is probably planning long term here.
Yeah.
Because eventually, come WrestleMania, the aftermath of WrestleMania, we all know that some superstars get called up to the roster.
Right.
So he's obviously knowing, okay, I'm going to be out a couple of people like Trick.
Right.
There's a couple of stars on there. And there's also a couple of people probably coming in into the brand.
You're
so,
saying that he's keeping an eye on, huh?
well, yeah, obviously, because some people are going to get called up. And what happens when your top star gets called up? You're going to be missing some stars.
Right.
Trying to
Okay.
fill in that
Yeah,
void.
okay, that's
Right.
smart.
I don't think, personally speaking, I don't think Ricky Starks really needs the runabout in NXT. I think he's a great superstar.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's great on the mic.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he need to adapt to the WWE style? Sure.
I'm
but-
sure there's more of a.
It's also too the pairing of who you're going to be competing against at
Yeah.
that point. You also don't want to run the same type of format that would happen with Ricochet, where you're just throwing them in there. I think the good thing is that you're definitely great on the mic. So if we do pair you up with the storyline you against the Miz, that's going to be made well for TV just because of how both my skills are happening.
Yeah.
But you don't want, and which is a good thing on Triple H's standpoint, is I'm not going to pair you off with someone who needs help.
So
Someone to kind of pair up and give you combative back and forth.
right, and I get that, and plus he has been out of action for a while, even though he's been wrestling on the Indies.
Right.
So it's still good enough to wrestle on TV, even though it doesn't
Exactly.
give enough eyes.
Mhm.
Personally speaking, I think this guy is more than just talented on the mic. He's talented in the ring, and not only that, but there's one thing that's very underrated. I feel like that a lot of wrestlers nowadays are missing, and that is expressions.
Okay.
The man
Yeah.
can tell a story just by expressing himself,
Yeah.
with just by his looks.
I can see that.
Yeah, and
Very much so.
honestly, dude, that's very underrated when it comes to wrestlers nowadays. I just don't feel a lot of them have that anymore.
It's the selling inside the ring. It tells the story where a lot of the old schools what we would watch is the telling story within the ring.
Yeah.
You tell us the story in there just based off your expressions, like you're saying, and agreeable because that's what makes wrestling good. It's what you could tell us inside the ring as well as outside. Can
Yeah.
you do both? And
Right.
a lot of points, sometimes it does it, but like you're saying, Ricky Starks can do both. Which is
Yep.
good.
And that's for Ricky Starks. As far as the rest of them, Aleister Black or Malachi Black, whatever name he's going to be given, maybe it could be Aleister, maybe it could be Malachi. Who knows? As far as
Malachi
him,
Black sounds a little better. That's just being a
Sticking
Right.
with it, probably.
sticking with it.
Yeah.
So put it this way. I think he will return. I don't think he'll be back in NXT.
No.
I think he's going to be back in
SmackDown.
I know SmackDown, and I think if you guys were paying attention to the Chad Gable storyline,
Oh yeah.
yeah, where
He's missing.
Dominic has given him that card saying this
Yeah.
guy is the master in luchador, and craft and all.
Right.
Oh.
That's gonna be him because back in the day he had a segment that had a dojo named after that.
Oh.
So I really think that's him.
Okay.
And they haven't shown anything to Chad Gable, so
Right,
they're probably
right.
giving him some time to rest, take it
Yeah.
easy. But once his contract is up, which I think will be somewhere by the end of February,
Chad is?
officially.
Okay.
No, Malachi.
Oh, Malachi.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's officially, or maybe you could just do it now. I guess maybe who knows? We'll watch next week's SmackDown, but
Yeah.
I think by sometime towards the end is when he'll probably finally
Pop
appear.
up.
Yeah, pop up, do some segments,
Nice.
probably like some teasers.
Yeah.
But that's how WWE rolls. They do like a little bit of teasers here and there,
Right.
and then eventually we will see his his appearance. Plus his wife is there, which makes more sense why he wants to work there.
Yep.
And at some point, Malachi was actually, Triple H, the future
Oh yeah.
of wrestling
Definitely.
until Vince got a hold of him and started doing all these vignettes that didn't make any sense. Like that one time where he was just like in the closet for like weeks and telling people, I want you to fight me.
Yo.
Never went anywhere. So
that's why I agree, man. That's why I was like when he jumped ship and went over to AEW, it made sense because he had that creativity freedom in a sense, right? And it was good at that moment. But it's also about time now that what helped you catapult better was Triple H helping you with the vision of it and
Right.
helping you with what you want to tell. I'm going to help you tell your story, how you want to tell it. And we're going to do it this way. I think it'll do great for TV, which is why he worked well with them in NXT and why he shined out in NXT. And why he could have been, we were calling him the future Undertaker or whatever, of darkness, Lord of Darkness. In the sense
Lord, they were calling him Lord Darkness.
Well, because just what his theme, his image, like his entrance music was badass.
Uh-huh.
His intro was freaking even awesome. Like it would have been a perfect setup behind what was going on with Bray Wyatt, in a sense. So it would have been even better now because it's like you, Triple H, we're back together, we're teamed up. You can help me with what I want to tell, and then we can tell it together.
Right.
Good. And then you have what's his face on one side over there on the other show, if I'm not mistaken, Killer Cross, what's his name?
Killer Cross, Damian Cross.
Yeah. So you have that one on that side, and now you have Malachi Black on the other side. So why not have both on both shows?
Yeah, and I agree at that point. Honestly, that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to finally see him have a singles run because AEW is mostly in the tag team or in trio.
Facts.
Which would be nice finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guy, and this guy I'm not very too high on, and I'll let you know why. And that would be Miro,
which is
as you guys know, is Rusev.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not very high on this guy anymore because it's like, all right, to me, I didn't think his WWE run was that great besides the Rusev thing. Crap.
Yeah.
But that was a gimmick.
Yeah.
It was really just a gimmick.
Right.
When he jumped shifts to AEW, believe it or not, AEW made him look like a monster at first.
Okay.
They were having him squash guys. They were having them beat up dudes like he was supposed to be a badass.
Okay. Yeah.
And then eventually he just went missing. And I think it was, so if I'm correct, and I don't know the backstage politics, who knows, but it was during the CM Punk debacle.
Yeah.
Where I think when CM Punk was getting close to exiting the company, I remember he was on Collusion.
Mm-hmm.
They had traded him to Collusion, and a lot of the guys that were like CM Punk's guys got traded in there. And when CM Punk left the company, I don't know, he just went MIA. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I want to say that's around the same time where I stopped seeing him too.
Yeah,
same. But it's also the same time. What was going on? Well, we find out that him and Lana were getting the divorce at that point.
Right.
So there could have been a lot of other stuff
things
happening
going on behind the mic, if you will.
Exactly. So it's hard. I guess it's hard to kind of tell what really transpired with that concept. But I would have to agree with it. Even if he joins WWE, it's gonna be hard to place you right now. Where are you gonna be placed at? It's kind of hard to put you in there unless you're gonna be the in-ring enforcer or like you're gonna be some type of gimmicky guy behind the scenes right now at this point. But it's like
your time has passed.
It really has.
You'll get a good pop.
Right.
You'll get a good pop coming in, surprise. Everybody's gonna cheer and go crazy.
Yep.
Chant Rusev Day, but that's about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's really hard. This character per se is really hard to kind of retell or continue with the story.
He just lost a lot of steam. He really did.
Yeah,
which I don't know. I mean, Zach, you remember Rusev, right?
Somewhat, not externally like that, but I
because his reign was short.
It was very. That's all I remember. It was very short run. So that's my 2 cents on it. Is I just remember him being somewhat of a fan favorite, but it was very short lived.
And
that was it. It was very short.
His big time was with Lana,
and then you don't have no Lana.
You really don't. The fact that you don't have no Lana any longer,
it's not as detrimental.
Yeah,
it's not. It's really not.
So he's gonna be missing Lana. He does have an accent. Unfortunately, he could speak English. He just has an accent.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
Yeah.
Even though he's good friends with Xavier Woods and all them, he could join on that side of being the bad guy.
Even then, it's a stretch. Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah, even that's a stretch. I agree. So that's where it kind of throws me off a little bit with this, and I think that's where it's gonna be troublesome to say the least.
Yeah,
and where to place him if he decides to even come back. And I don't think he'll be even Triple H. It would be very hard for him to say, "Oh, you're a must. I got to get you back on my side." Type of
He's
deal.
not going to be saying that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Triple H is not.
He's better off going to Indies or TNA, to be honest, and just go over there.
Which yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the next couple of weeks and months, maybe, to see where some of these releases will go to. One interesting one would be what would happen to Penta.
Ooh.
Not Penta, sorry.
I was gonna say, hold on, man.
His brother, what's his name? I'm losing brain fog.
I know. I think you know what you're talking about.
Ray Phoenix. Sorry,
okay.
I'm over here losing
Ray Phoenix.
Ray Phoenix, yeah, his brother that is locked up currently in AEW jail.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking of a brother.
And let's be real, and I'm being real. Out of all, even Ricky
free
Starks,
my guy.
Ricky Starks, Miro, and Alistair, this guy is gonna be. Not saying he's gonna be bigger, but this guy's a bigger name. Reason why you have one of the hottest stars in WWE right now, Penta,
right?
Okay,
which is selling merch and it's making a lot of noise right now in WWE.
Yep.
If you finally release Ray, reunite, and you can sell even more merchandise,
that would be.
But I think that's one of the reasons why Tony Khan has yet decided to release him and hold out even longer until his contract expires, probably sometime later on this year. unfortunately. So
He's trying to build off that hype, is what you're saying.
yeah, he doesn't
Okay.
want WWE to take that momentum, obviously.
Well, yeah, he's trying to stop it big time, but it's like it's gonna be kind of hard to stop when it's gonna be hard to stop or hard to put a damper on it, just because no matter what timing he's gonna show up, it's gonna be great for TV, especially for WWE at the moment. Like, that's okay. Penta can shine out now and be all great on WWE now and do his solo run, which he done well in Lucha Underground. He
Right.
knows how to carry himself.
He does.
But as soon as Phoenix comes in, it's just going to be one inch better for him. And at this point, it's only going to be the I guess you would say the timing is just the timing. It's
Right.
just the inevitable is going to end up happening.
Eventually, it's going to happen.
Right.
Reunite, or I'll be surprised if he has a single run of his own. That would be nice.
Hmm.
But well, we'll see in the future what happens with all these releases, and see if there's any more releases coming up in the future when it comes to AEW or WWE.
Do you anticipate any releases right now? Like, watching AEW as it is there anyone that wouldn't, like, at this point you can see down the line this person should be end up probably passing over?
It would be maybe Dr. DMD Britt Breaker.
Oh, really?
Breaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Reason why is there's a lot of stuff going on backstage with her, and yet not a lot of things are explained.
Yeah.
Things are kept hush hush.
Yeah.
Which is like, what's going on in the background? You
Right.
know? There was their little beef with the Conan for a while. And
Britt
that
Baker,
was
right?
that was due
Yep.
to her cheating on her ex, Adam Cole, which
She
she
was right.
denied, obviously.
She belonged to the streets. No, I'm fine.
Nobody knows. At the end of the day, there's two sides to every story.
Of course.
Yeah, so who knows what's went down? Who knows what's going on? I did hear a couple, years ago that she did have an attitude problem backstage. She did
okay.
carry herself highly,
Right.
and some legends didn't like that. Apparently, maybe it's just an attitude check. Maybe.
But I think it was at that point, it shouldn't have really bothered them so much, because if I'm not mistaken, she was really the only major name for women wrestling at that time in the AEW.
Yes.
She was one of the biggest names besides Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Right? Because Tony Storm didn't come until later on.
Later on, right?
So if her being in there, her being the top name, she's gonna have some type of, what's it called, on her shoulders, in a sense. She's gonna have some, she's gonna have that chip on her shoulder a little bit, and it should be understandable. I think at that point, it's just because you don't agree with how she's carrying herself, it is what
I
it
think
is.
it was due to the fact that she was coming back. She was like, she had an injury, and when she was coming back, it was during the time Mercedes Moné debuted.
There you go.
And I think it was
Okay.
the part that she had a job out to Mercedes Moné that really ticked her off. She thought, like, who's her coming in when I carry this company?
Correct.
Yeah. And I think by then that was like her downfall of not appearing after that, because then
True.
she had the
Really didn't see one.
suspension
Yep.
with MJF,
Yep.
with the little incident they had back and forth.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened there either. Like, a lot of things are just kept hush hush. Nothing's getting thrown out there. So who knows really what's going on backstage with her? That's what I think. Any of you guys think of anyone else that you guys think should get released?
No, I would have to agree with you for sure on the whole Britt Baker thing. I think that was probably one of the biggest names I had to have to say. Happening in the future, it wouldn't shock me if she would be the one to be released
Right.
at this point, because you got AEW got Thunder Rosa still. They haven't really utilized her so much. You know what I mean? She has a lot of social media, backing in a sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would want to let her go just because she can come back and give you a good solid wrestling run and be all well there. That's fine.
All right.
But and she gets along with others at this point. But it kind of plays into effect with what's going on with what they're doing, Monet and Tony Storm, and who's the other one that Tony Storm's going against right now? I can't remember her name.
Mariah May?
Yeah, like all that storyline is kind of kicking off really well.
Mhm.
So it's going to be hard for Britt to kind of place herself back into the mix,
Right.
and for her to make it make sense to her.
Right.
So for her, yeah, if I'm going to be released, that's fine. I go to AEW. I mean, I go to WWE. If anything, at this point, I got a lot of other storylines I can go against. I can go
Right.
Jordan Grace. I can go against back again at Jade, because I know how to wrestle with Jade. I can go at a freaking Becky Lynch if she comes back. I can go at a Charlotte. Like, their names are pretty well up there, and her storylines can go well over at WWE. if it just makes sense for her.
Maybe you could get their shit together
Yeah,
too.
yeah, there you go. So it
Because,
just, if it goes, it can. So at this point, that would be the one thing for sure. Other ones besides that, I mean, I just really would like to see Jon Moxley leave over there, go on WWE, fit into the storyline with the Bloodline too as well, be back in there in the mix with freaking Roman. But then again, that's all you're going back for. You're not really going to go back there to be a mainstream guy. You're not going back there to be, back and forth. So if you do such, WWE really has to extend that contract how he has right now with AEW and say, we'll bring you in here, but you're definitely go to GSCW, wrestle there. You could definitely go to TNA. You could definitely go to Indies.
You're basically saying that his options are
limited on that
limitless. No.
Well, that's the difference.
They would have to.
Well, the difference was that he had creative freedom, which he doesn't have in WWE.
Right.
That's why he left WWE in general.
Mhm.
And then during that time, it was Vince McMahon running the company. He didn't like the lunatic fringe type of personality he had. So I don't think Jon Moxley is the type to ever return back. I think he kept his word. Like out of everybody, I could see Jericho returning. I can see some other guys returning. I don't see Jon Moxley ever leaving the business and going back to WWE again. I think it's one of those guys that are really sticking to it. We forgot some WWE releases.
Yep.
Giovanni Vinci, you remember him?
Nope, that's where it's gone.
That was the guy. That was the guy that was with Gunther, the third guy.
Oh,
shit! Oh, the
damn.
third guy. Yeah.
Okay.
There was three of them.
There was three of them. He's an interesting one because he was the third guy. Then he got kicked out, and there was rumors that he was doing some behind-the-scene drama that might have got him kicked out finally.
On some shit.
Well, there was a lot of stuff going on. Nobody knows what's exactly true. Maybe
I do remember them being three though. I remember it being Gunther and two other henchmen.
The skinny guy that's married to
no, the
Tiffany.
skinny guy is still there. I thought
skinny guy is one that's there with Tiffany.
Yeah,
hitting it off.
He's fighting with the redheaded right now.
Yeah.
Sheamus. He's fighting with Sheamus right now.
Yeah.
But there was a third guy though.
That was the one he's talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And then
there's some backstage. I think there was a backstage incident that eventually kicked them out of Imperium.
That's what I'm saying. What happened? What's going on there?
But there's some stuff. But
it had to have been a long-term thing because he hasn't been on camera for a while.
He has, but he has been squashed.
Okay.
Hence why this whole release thing came about to be, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe eventually we'll hear about it when he does a shoot. We don't know, so we'll find out eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Another one. These two guys are a personal favorite, but I'm not surprised too. I don't even understand why they brought them back. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I don't know why they bring them back besides the nostalgia pop with AJ Styles, but I mean, I know it's kind of so this part was kind of bogus on WWE. Carl Anderson is actually injured.
Yeah.
So when they released him during his injury.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up in my
opinion.
Sounds a little shady.
But again, they brought him back at that moment prior to that for a little bit, and then it's like now you're back again, being back in release or whatever.
Well,
what throws it off too. That just throws another egg.
Why bring them? And this was Triple H bringing them back.
Yeah.
So why bring them back in order to release them? That was kind of dumb. I don't know. I think it sucks for them, but I'm sure they'll find work. They'll go back to New Japan.
They're Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
TNA. Hell, maybe they'll finally get an AEW run.
Maybe.
So
they got a lot of friends. But they're likable.
But who's injured right now? Carl Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Carl's the tall guy.
No, he's a short guy.
Short guy. Yeah. But that's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, Luke Gallows also to himself at this point very injury prone. If I'm not mistaken, bad knees. Am I right? Because that's why their run for tag team when they first, if I'm not mistaken, when they first came on board, right when Devon and the Dudley Boys made their return, because everyone was like the tag team division was a little off, and they had their run. If I'm not mistaken, he got injured during that, and that's why they kind of had to fall off a little bit there too.
I don't remember that, but you may be right. But I don't. Okay. But I haven't heard him getting injured in a long time. Could be just during that time.
Could be.
They're a little older, yes.
On the older side.
But I mean,
and it's hard to place them with AJ Styles only right now because they have the little thing going on. They we all know their history with each other, but it's
when you're trying to create a division of tag team right now, it's like they're good guys to job out.
Yeah,
they really are, and you don't want to destroy all your tag teams. You do like Motor City Machine Guns,
the
Street Profits. Those guys they need someone to job out.
Yeah.
So they're not bad guys. They're legends, you
Mhm.
know. But
Legends.
unfortunately, I don't know. I just don't get it. I really do think they did them bogus, especially Carl Anderson. Nobody wants to be fired when you're injured.
Facts.
It's kind of
They're
Like getting
probably
fired on
like,
your day off.
yeah.
part of the day off. I'm like, oh,
Basically,
the doctor just said I'll be out for 2 months. I'm fired. Oh shit! I guess I'm fired.
Y'all remember Isla? I'm pronouncing this wrong. Isla Dawn.
No.
No, she was part of a tag team that won the titles at that pay-per-view, the UK tag team division.
Oh, one of the two girls, right?
Yeah,
She was the skinnier girl.
Yeah,
if I'm
I think she
mistaken.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. What the
She
hell?
was the skinnier girl that came in.
Yeah.
They won at, and it was a.
What
main
threw me
event.
off when they won? I think what event was that when they won?
They
It was,
defended. They
last
defended.
year.
They
somewhere last
defended
year.
too as well, didn't they?
It was
They were at
before
a
WrestleMania,
country.
right?
Yeah, it was after.
It was after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Backlash.
I think it.
Yeah,
Oh, you
And
might
they-
have been right. It might have been Backlash. They did like tag team tournament thing or whatever, and they won
And
their
they
tag
won.
titles.
surprisingly.
It threw me off because I'm over here like, why the hell these guys? Why are they winning? I didn't have none of understood that part why they won compared to other tag teams.
They were big. Plus, that was her hometown,
At
Yeah,
the time,
and they
yeah.
got a good
Yeah.
pop.
At the
But
time, yeah.
that's right.
I think she got injured and then brought back, and then just got released. So
Again,
I don't know. You know, that's
Damn.
all right. Fine. You know that I'll be like, okay, fine. You know, let's just let it be. Another one, Cedric Alexander. He's out.
he was a cruiserweight, no?
He was in the cruiserweight, and he was also in the Hurt Business,
Mm.
now called Hurt Syndicate in AEW. I see this guy going to AEW. I feel like what's his name? MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton are gonna vouch for this guy. Like, dude, you gotta bring him in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And right now, the Hurt
Yeah.
Syndicate in AEW is some of the best work that they're having.
Cool.
Honestly,
Okay,
dude,
that's
their
good.
their
That's
stuff
good.
in there is great. You guys got to check it out.
Mhm.
You guys don't watch AEW, just check out the Hurt Syndicate. Honestly, perfect way to build Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Because you could tell MVP's
Oh.
running that whole segment. You could just really tell. I can see him getting work from AEW. I don't think that's a big loss for WWE, really.
No.
Nah.
But it's not a bad loss for them, but it's also a good gain for them over there on that side, which is not bad. Which is good for them because I think what they're trying to build is a big in their own style of bloodline. But then again, if I'm not mistaken, MVP did say my storyline for what was going to happen for the syndicate would have been, in a sense, the same concept of what they're using for bloodline. So why not? It'll work over there.
Same
It'll work.
concept. Then.
Mhm.
And then
Supposedly.
these guys with Karrion Cross, AOP.
Yeah.
AOP, and I think the manager too. Paul, what's his name? Paul Ellering,
Mhm.
which is he's a legend in its own right. I'm surprised he hasn't got in the Legends contract, unfortunately. But AOP in general, they're all released, which is odd. You just seen them not too long on TV, and next thing you know, they're gone.
That's another thing too. I'm like, these guys, they should be one of the dominant tag teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I'm like, just the way how they are, like they were good at NXT, they were dominant there. I mean, one of them got injured, but I think going to WWE, they should have been utilized as that dominant tag team. But I guess they haven't been used properly. Like, can they not tell a good story? Do they not know how to wrestle very well? What's the deal with them getting dropped right now?
I don't know.
They
I'm
could,
not Triple H.
they
I'm
could just
not
not have a
Triple H, man.
storyline for them.
That's what I mean. Like, they got the look, they got their freaking setup. I mean, they do look like big Samoans, or if I'm not mistaken, they are.
I don't think the fans ever gravitate towards them.
I don't think so either.
And the live events, they get a pretty dull reaction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do. I've been to the live events a couple of times where AOP appears, and I just hear fans saying, "Get him off the ring! They suck."
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I don't know. I think they're
Boo
okay
this
for what they
man.
are.
Remember that? Boo this man.
Basically, man.
Which is pretty shitty.
But is that the same reason why they gave what's it called, Umaga, when him and his brothers, right, with the tag teams?
3-minute warning.
Yeah, 3-minute warning. Like, but even then, 3-minute warning that skit was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They should give him that, like the whole 3 minute. Like, you got 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get the tag, you get them coming out. You're like, oh snaps, they're about to get beat up like crazy. But they could have done something like that.
Hey,
You're
man.
about to get hurt, and all of a sudden music drops, and the other guys come out.
I'm not a booker, so I wouldn't know. But
That
what I
sucks.
do know is AEW's Grand Slam results.
Yep.
All righty, and they're coming in. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, the Dream Tag Team, has defeated Kyle Fletcher and Takashita. That's one. Mercedes Moné has defeated Harley Cameron. By the way, Harley Cameron in AEW. Have you guys ever checked out her skits? Her anything of her?
No.
You guys should. She is hilarious and gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it this
Good
way.
mixture.
I'll put it this way. She has so much
I like
natural
Google.
talent that I honestly think if Tony Khan gave her a proper run, she'll be fucking selling merch like crazy.
Okay.
As well as if she ever gets released, they're gonna pick her up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That woman definitely has natural charisma. Beautiful, natural charisma. John Moxley and Cesaro defeated Cope and Jay White in one hell of a brawl in Australia. Mind you, that Cope definitely got a really good reaction out there.
Okay.
The crowd was singing his song throughout the whole time. Honestly, one of the loudest pops that I pretty much heard Adam Copeland get
For him
Yeah,
himself.
his
Okay.
career.
Not bad.
Much due, honestly.
But
Man. The
with
guy
other
deserves
countries,
it.
when they do events like that, that's actually really beneficial. So he may be a fan favorite there where they're at.
Right.
Not
I
bad.
mean, I think anything out of the country, man. Those guys just go crazy, man. It's because they don't get it often.
That's true.
And
That's
when they
true.
do-
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
gonna
kind
go
of feel
show
like
out.
when they're out of I wouldn't say out of state, but when you're out of country, it's like they
finally get these
value it
events.
more. It's
Yes,
more of a value,
there you go.
like it's like with the whole,
The valuement of it, like just showing the gratitude that you're finally here with us.
filling their local stadium is a
Yeah.
big thing for them.
Right.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
That's good.
And then this one's for the international title, which I'm not really shocked, but Okada defeated Buddy Matthews.
Mm.
Come on, man. I mean, Buddy Matthews not going to win a title anytime soon. Okada's not going to drop it. I mean, they're
Not
paying
to
this
like-
guy
it
millions
just
of
doesn't
dollars.
have
I was
really
gonna
right
say
now.
I feel like Okada is more. Of a
Hey, wait,
big
Buddy
name.
Matthews, isn't that Rhea's husband?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why he lost. Because he
But
sucks.
yeah, I
Okay,
was gonna
but
say,
yeah.
but I feel like Okada is more
Yeah.
of a bigger name
Yeah,
known,
yeah.
so it's
That's
not.
that's
yeah.
they're paying this
But
guy
I
millions.
didn't know that was the other guy was
Rhea's
Rhea's.
husband.
I didn't know that.
I knew that.
I
The
didn't know
guy-
that. I didn't know he wrestled. I didn't know he wrestled.
I'll give
He's
you
not
this
good.
though. Buddy Matthews jacked. That
Yeah,
guy
he is.
crazy.
He is.
Motherfucker
Oh,
swole.
yeah.
That dude's like,
I'll be the judge of
solid,
this.
everything.
We're gonna
Yeah.
Google check this. What is his name? Buddy what?
While you do that, Tony Storm became your 4-time AEW Women's Champion. That's history
Oh,
right
he's
there
fucking
for you.
tanked.
Yeah.
Sorry. Say it one more time.
AEW just made history. 4-time champion Tony Storm has finally recaptured her title.
good.
Some
Good for
history.
him. Good for
Honestly,
him.
the gimmick's great.
Right.
I love classic Tony Storm. Best thing that AEW has going on right
Facts.
now. I really think so.
She made a career there. I think when she left WWE and going over there, but I'm not gonna lie. Of all storylines, I really don't give too much praise. This definitely it has been the best
Yeah.
thing that's happened with the WWE crossover
to
superstar
AEW.
to AEW.
Yeah.
Best one ever.
Best one that keeps growing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Keeps consistently going, which is awesome. Honestly, she's done some of the best work in that company. Honestly, she
Mhm.
has.
That's what's up. Good for her. Hey, got the belt. Secure the
So
bag.
put it this way.
And she's
I'm
gorgeous.
gonna give you some background what happened during the
Absolutely.
event. Tony Khan came out and he addressed the crowd like he always does in every event. This is what he does all the time. You guys don't see it most of the time. It's off camera.
Mhm.
So when he did, he appeared and right away the fans booed him.
Damn.
And let me give you some background stories. I don't know if you guys been keeping up with this whole paper. So here's the thing. Originally, when the tickets were on sale, fans thought this was going to be a pay-per-view.
Mhm.
It's not a pay-per-view. It was basically a glorified collusion.
Mm.
So
Okay.
and not only that, but they showed this right after the NBA All-Star game.
Okay.
So they waited till it to end
Yeah.
and then showed it late at night, right
This was-
after.
if I'm
that.
not mistaken, this was last night.
Yeah, should have been.
No, because I was watching.
What?
I was gonna say, go ahead. You go.
Oh, no,
ahead.
yeah.
You go ahead. Yeah.
So yes, it appeared right after. So a lot of fans speculated that this was going to be a pay-per-view, even though in Tony Khan's defense, he
Mm.
never said it was going to be a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But everything had the look of the pay-per-view. They booked it at a bigger event,
Uh-huh.
a really bigger event, and it didn't sell. So they had to bring it back to a smaller arena.
Mm.
Some of these fans paid extraordinary money for these seats
Damn.
when it was at the bigger venue, like $700, thousands of dollars,
They could
you
do
know,
that.
per ticket. When they got transferred over, a lot of them didn't get a refund, obviously.
Oh, hell no.
Not only that, but the seats that they were given were worse than the seats that they got during the old event. So a lot of fans online were mad about this, and
My thing was it wasn't even visible online. I feel like watching when you tuned in, because I was watching. What happened was it aired yesterday was the NBA's 3-point contest and dunk contest, and it did air. I think what you're talking about, it aired. It was literally as soon as that was over, the next thing aired was on NXT Collusion, and it just I watched a little bit of the intro. Sometimes I will watch the intro for the NXT, and it just didn't. It seemed more impactful. Like they wanted to make it more instrumental, but like the instrumental to it, but like the venue was just not full. It was not full, and it was like like it's just you know how like UFC events they can to like the
they showing out to the crowd,
and everything. It just wasn't full, and I was like, well, it looked like a prelims UFC thing. That's what I'm getting at.
Well,
the vibes of it was like prelims UFC, where it's like nobody's really there yet, but it's starting now.
Well,
and I was like, why would they air it?
Well, they said they only had 600 tickets left, which is like, but it was sold. I'm saying.
I mean, obviously, so it was the UFC aspect, but nobody was really there yet.
Yeah.
So why like that? But that's just not good for them to air it like that.
Yeah,
They
they
just
do
went-
stuff like that. at
Yeah,
AEW.
like I get
I
there was
don't know,
matches
'cause-
going on, so they didn't really key into the match. So when the match started, I watched the first match, but even then, it was just like the stadium wasn't full, the energy wasn't there, and it just goes to like show maybe the NXT like
No,
they
AEW.
obviously know.
AEW.
AEW
Yeah.
knows to be like, yo, I'm gonna tune in for the main event because obviously it's better.
Well, when Adam Copeland was there was a whole crowd. It was like they were all singing. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I gotta watch the beginning. Of it, I guess.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
it's all the pre-tape. No,
it was
pre-tape,
AEW,
filters.
Uh,
But go ahead.
yeah.
We'll put it this way. Now, yeah, there was a lot of fans backlash. There was a lot of issues. Some people said this is the last time I'm going to an AEW show in Australia.
Goddamn.
So Tony Khan did get booed, but eventually he got cheered when he said we will be returning to Australia next year. Overall, my criticism of this though, I don't see this really on the fault of Tony Khan,
Okay.
and not all of it. I do see it for him not clarifying right away if it was going to be a pay-per-view or a glorified collusion. In the end of the day, when it comes to seating ranges and getting your money back and ticket dispensary, that's all on Ticketmaster or whatever they use out there.
For real.
Yeah. In the end of the day, they're the ones that buy these tickets and sell it to you. That's why they charge you the fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's really on Ticketmaster, unfortunately. And there's not much Tony Khan could do. But at the same time, it should have been smart of him to book a smaller venue from the start
Mm-hmm.
and then make it clarified right away if it was going to be a pay-per-view or a house show or a live televised show.
Fucking think that they would do that. You would think.
Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of criticism. I think he learned from this in a way. He has to.
You better. Let's put it that way.
Eventually they'll be back. I mean, he said he was going to be back. They'll be back. I think they'll run it better this time. I still think it'll sell out. I think I only had like 600 tickets left to like distribute it. I think it'll sell out. I think it'll be fine. And I think he'll learn from this mistake, a big mistake, unfortunately. But he has to be more on the ball when it comes to booking. That's for sure. Events and all.
Be more involved. I
Yeah.
would say so. I think that's kind of what the difference between WWE and what's going on at AEW. I think that's something where Tony Khan has to kind of like get himself in the mix of it, just so he can kind of also be in the backing of it, or at least hire somebody who he trusts. Hey man, this is what you're in charge of. Make sure we're looking good. Make sure all this is planned out. If the crowd isn't following right, you're at fault. I'm coming after you. Why my venue isn't done correctly?
Yeah.
So let me know. Fill me in.
I think NXT Vengeance was on yesterday too. If I'm correct, I think that was on
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yes, it was.
I didn't watch that. I only got time to watch one or the other. That's a lot of wrestling for one day.
Yeah.
But I heard it was good as well. I heard it was great.
Well, especially with what's it called? Stephanie getting the North America's championship. Everyone was hyped up. That freaking victory was great. The way she kind of just carried herself alone in the ring, defeated the other three. The build up to it was pretty good, and then her winning it, man, everyone was hyped up. Booker T was into it. I think his commentary was pretty funny, to be honest. A little, I don't have to say, but it was a good match. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good match. I watched that one. That was nice. That was nice. She did great. She's gonna be great when she crosses over finally, I think.
Yeah, NXT's pay-per-views are always good. I always remember that. Probably have to watch it on the rewind. But overall, it was a solid night. Saturday night for wrestling overall. I don't think anyone loses this battle, man. When it comes to wrestling, there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Right.
A lot of great stuff last night for both companies. Honestly, yeah. I mean, nobody can lose, really, man.
Nope.
I mean, you could have criticism, it's fine, but in the end of the day, if you're hating another company, come on, man. Get your product out there. How can you hate? If we didn't have competition, it will be 2000 whatever fucking WWE again.
Oh my God! Please
Oh.
don't go back to that. But I agree with you.
Just that one.
Please. That's why That's why I want AEW to succeed in it. And whether you have a criticism, it's fine. But it's doing its job. It's making it relevant, and it's giving you superstars out there for you to pay attention to.
It's giving you great products. Still.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and you're watching it. So hey, go
Yeah.
for it. All power to you.
Yeah, and at the same time, man, it still gives a platform for other superstars to show off their skills.
Exactly.
As well as one more topic we have, and maybe we'll give a what if when it comes to this. So we got 2 inductees so far for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that will be your first one will be Triple H.
Mr. Hunter.
Which if you saw his announcement, he was supposedly shocked. Who knows? You know, because
Right.
he's the one that's in charge of this.
Correct.
But he was shocked that he was inducted as the first, guy, which will be the headliner too.
Yep.
I'm sure he's going to be the headliner.
I'm sure.
And then as well as another shocked inductee would be Michelle McCool, where she was told with her husband, The Undertaker, on TV that she's going to be one of the inductees by Triple H himself.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so we have 2 so far.
Who are you expecting for next then?
That's a
you'd
good
say.
question. I don't know yet.
Or is that the what if that you were talking about a minute ago?
Well, that's the thing. What if, who do you think is the next inductees?
It-
I think Demolition. I have not seen Demolition in the Hall of Fame. I can see them as a tag team coming in. Who else would be a good inductee? I guess. I don't think Ken Shamrock's ever been to the Hall of Fame
Ooh,
either.
No.
That would be
wrestling?
one other guy. Yeah.
No.
That would be nice.
Who?
Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid would be another one.
He
He's
hasn't
never been.
No.
No. Okay, that's
Victoria.
shocking.
I like the idea of
Victoria.
Ken Shamrock. I like the idea of Ken
Yeah.
Shamrock because the Dark Side of the Cage recently
Just
dropped. No, Dark Side of the Cage.
Oh, the
And
UFC version.
Ken Shamrock was in the episode where he established why he left wrestling to go to UFC and then came back to wrestling. So I think that'd be interesting aspect on that.
Because he's kind of gaining momentum. His name's relevant.
That's the only reason I
Yeah.
Funaki's another one.
Takamichi Noku.
Yeah. I guess it's you can't put all these guys in.
You shouldn't at least, not too much all at once.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine they do
Give it a good 5.
They
Good
usually
five.
do 5 or 4, don't they?
They had that celebrity wing. Why not Motorhead?
Could be Motorhead. I could see that. Even though, they did make an appearance. Has
Yeah,
Limp
they-
Bizkit ever been in there?
I was actually going to say that too. Limp Bizkit.
You know
No.
what? I'm telling you Motorhead because they've done 2 of Triple H's theme songs.
Yeah.
They did Time to Play a Game.
And they did a performance,
Both times for him at WrestleMania.
which was pretty good.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
they did Bow Cow to the King.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that one too. They did
That's a
it.
good celebrity. I definitely would. I think my opinion would be is the what if going into this year's Hall of Fame right now. I know, like you mentioned, Demolition. If I'm not mistaken, that storyline with Demolition and WWE and their, I guess, legal actions, they finally worked out a deal. They settled at this point right now, so now they're good in a sense. So that it's the momentum now time for them to say, okay, let's put you guys in the Hall of Fame at this point right now. Let's get you guys in there. We finally worked out our deal. You're in there. You'll be the main tag team that's involved in there, of course. Highlights will be above, all this kind of stuff, get you attention. Let's get you in there. Victoria is a good one. I would
I
definitely
know.
have to say it for the women's
Musician-
side.
Underrated.
And musician-wise, the stuff Snoop Dogg in there, then I forgot to do something with Triple H.
Or something like that too.
Snoop Dogg would be nice.
I'll be okay with Lip. I'm okay with Snoop, but I'm also okay with Lip Bizkit.
Limp
either or.
Bizkit would be good too, musician-wise.
Yeah, not too bad on both sides.
I don't see Snoop because I feel like he'll still appear.
I think he'll still come for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But hey,
I could
they're
see.
gonna do the whole thing what they did with
I
Rey
think
Mysterio.
down the line,
Right.
He's
You know what I'm
relevant.
saying?
Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio was inducted, but he's still wrestling. So
but I don't agree with that. I don't.
I don't either.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like, Snoop could do it, but he'll still be there.
yeah, he's
but
still gonna show
that's
up.
just a random name. That's just a random name.
I would also
I'd like Limp Bizkit.
Mark Merrill.
Mark Merrill?
He hasn't been
No.
there yet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Mark Merrill. That's not bad. But
Mark
did he
Henry-
get along with
Oh,
Triple
Mark
H?
Henry's already Hall of Famer, right?
Who?
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry,
Oh,
but he's still contracted with AEW at the moment.
No,
I don't think
Oh,
he's
no?
Hall of Fame yet. No,
I
I don't
don't
think
think
yet.
Mark Henry. I
Oh.
don't think he'll go in right now. I think they're saving him for a headliner also.
Yeah,
I don't know about headliner, but I want to say they may be saving him
But-
to be on the same one as
D'Lo
Batista.
Brown?
But D'Lo Brown, I can see. The thing
Ooh,
is, though,
D'Lo
he's
Brown
got a
would be
point
nice.
because there's not that much headliners left.
No,
What do you think they put Triple H?
you still got
Yeah.
Triple H, you got Batista,
yeah,
Batista
Batista.
said he was waiting
Stone
for, I
Cold.
thought,
No,
yeah.
yeah, Stone Cold. The Rock,
The Rock, John Cena.
John Cena.
uh,
Wait, what'd you do? You got
Batista,
Batista,
John Cena,
John Cena,
The Rock,
The Rock, John
Mark
Cena.
Henry.
Well, you said John Cena right here.
Yeah. Mark Henry would be another one.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
pretty much all I could think of.
Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you got to fill in the gap. And they started off, I feel like too many wrestlers. They should have
Yeah.
cut it down to like 4
You can
inductees.
actually do like tag teams. And
That's what I'm saying because the way that wrestling is.
Hardy Boys?
Mm,
That's a headliner. I'm not gonna lie. If it- For a tag team,
Are they
of all
done
tag
yet
teams,
though? Are they,
That's a good headliner. Edge
Yeah.
and Christian's a headliner.
Mhm.
Or no, they're
They're not in, but right now they're both in AEW, so
Yeah.
they'll be. I
That's
don't
what I'm
think.
saying. I feel
No,
like
no,
wow,
no,
that's
no.
gonna
I
happen.
But Christian, so it'd be nice to have Christian going, and then probably the Brood as one.
Yeah,
oh the Brood. That's
Brood.
another one too.
but they're
Yeah.
they're all like, they're
Yeah.
all out. Of
They're all
WWE.
relevant on that side of the ring, so it may take a while before we do some stuff. So
I mean,
keep
what
it
if-
simple.
What
keep it
if could
short.
be many too. Eventually Samoa Joe, but who knows if he's going to be a
Yeah,
long timer?
True.
Yeah. There's a lot of what is. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually, in a perfect world, we would like to see China, but that's never going to
Oh
happen.
hell yeah!
AJ
Yeah.
Styles will probably
Well,
Yeah.
now that they're on Netflix, they could be China now.
Nah.
Because
Nah.
it's the company's in a different reign at this
Nah.
point.
There's going to be a lot of controversy.
because of her.
Google her name. No. Don't do
No,
it.
no, no,
Oh.
later on.
Put it this way.
No, whoa.
But put it this way.
Yeah.
You're catering to kids. You Google Laurie Strode, her name or whatever her name is, Laurie something,
Yeah.
China, and you're gonna get some results you shouldn't be seeing.
But-
That is the thing that WWE doesn't want. They're still a PG company.
I think that's what they did DX as in whole, so they could actually have China in there.
Yeah, and like I said, in a perfect world, but
But-
it's not gonna happen.
But I would agree with you guys in
I
that
would like to
sense.
see China.
Had
too, though. I
had
would
that
love to
company
see
not formed with UFC, had that company not created with TKO, had that company not joined Netflix and made a contract with them,
Mhm.
which remember, this company with Netflix, they do freaking comedy shows of Dave Chappelle. And
Mhm.
remember, all this type of controversy that comes with it, Netflix has been backing all of that at
in
this
the,
point.
But in the end, though, WWE is still a family orientated show.
It
They get a
is.
lot of eyes now for kids.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard for them to try to explain why they're gonna induct Vince McMahon when they do.
I don't think they ever will.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
Vince is coming soon. It's coming
I
soon.
don't think so.
Come
I
on,
think
Let's
if-
go.
I think his allegations
Nah.
have been dropped.
It's coming
No,
soon. It's
settle.
coming soon.
But not fully settled.
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
close.
no. Wait, let me clarify that.
Yeah.
No, none of it's been dropped. His allegations with another case years ago was dropped. The allegation with
That
the woman
started
right now
off with.
is still going and
Yeah.
it's still being investigated, and he still look like he's still guilty of it. He would either find his way to pay off
Right.
or get pardoned.
Or
Probably.
yep.
And I don't think personally he'll ever be back in the WWE.
Not
I don't
within
even
the
think
next
he'll
10
be.
years.
I don't even think he'll be in the Hall of Fame, bro. The way the internet works, you're gone.
Yeah.
You're living that era where nothing you do can be deleted anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So he made his case. He's just gone from the company. He really is. He shot himself in the foot.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He felt invincible.
Look, Vince McMahon
Invincible.
as a creator, as the guy, awesome, smart dude, right? And awesome as in his creative mind, not awesome as a person, by the way.
Mhm.
Vince McMahon outside of WWE, piece of shit. Piece of shit deserves to whatever he's gonna get coming to him. And for that and his allegations, even if it's not true, which I think it is, even if they find him not guilty, which I hardly think it's gonna happen, I feel like he's gonna settle outside. If he settles, that's still not gonna go away.
Right.
That's still stuff that TKO doesn't want. TKO forced him out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't WWE itself, it was TKO.
Mm-hmm.
They said, hey, all this stuff came out, you gotta go. You gotta get out.
And that helped. It started off with Stephanie and Shane and Vince, man. I think they all leaked some stuff. I'm just saying, allegedly. I'm just
Allegedly.
saying, allegedly. remember the story behind Shane McMahon. Behind him, it's like, here's the knife. You're gonna have to kill me in order to get what you want in this life, and especially from there, you got to do what I did to my dad and buy him out, or do what you can do to get him out of the picture. And at this point, all three kids did what they had to do to get him out of the picture,
But,
and they partnered themselves up with someone bigger, money backing with great money. And at that point, that's what happened. That's me.
but what does Shane got to do with it when Shane doesn't work for TKO?
He doesn't. But that's why he's the perfect alibi in the sense to kind of be like, hey man, we're gonna send you a quick picture. Man.
I don't think
I don't want this to be traced on my stuff.
I don't
Just
think
saying.
it was them though. I think it was one of
It was definitely the company though. I agree with you on that part. The company said we're gonna buy you for sure, but we don't want you in the picture.
yeah.
As long as you get yourself out of the picture, then we do what we have to do at this point, and that makes sense.
I think it was really Stephanie and them because they left WWE before this incident happened.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
saw that shit coming.
Mhm.
There was some stuff they knew was gonna come because I feel like she had connections and she had friends that leaked it out for her that had the stuff. I mean, she has everything though. Yeah, like here, take it, pretend like
It wasn't me, but
yeah.
it really was.
release it out. There you go. And that's when they knew, like, fuck, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Shit gets,
No, yeah. Agreed.
Really, Shane knew a lot about it too.
well,
That's
yeah.
what I mean. I feel like this was
This all started after Shane got fired.
look, it's been writing on the wall for a long time. All right.
Yeah.
And I think for sure it really started ramping up, to be honest, when it came down to WrestleMania 38. Ever since WrestleMania 38 appeared, and all of us were like 2-night events. One night you could tell it's one script, the other night you could tell it's another, the outcome of whatever case to be. We're being force fed. The talks of a lot of us were like, we're done with this force feeding crap.
Well, 39 was the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Ever since 38
38.
kind of came about to be, people from then on, it started to kind of piggyback and little step by step to kind of indicate all this. And now it just all happened. It happened. And it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So-
Honestly, we'll see what the future holds on that.
Mhm.
I wouldn't hold my breath for Vince, though.
No, definitely not.
There's
Another-
a few wrestlers I think about that could go into the Hall of Fame. Steve Blackman,
Yeah, that could be it.
Dan the
Mhm.
Big Stubborn.
I don't
Andy
think
Stone.
Stevie Richard.
Steve Richards hasn't gone out.
Yeah, Maven.
Oh,
You wanna consider him?
yeah.
He has a YouTube channel that does very well now.
What was that group in the Attitude Era that had Luna, and they had a mask guy, they had a goofy guy, a tall dude or whatever. They were like the Maniacs or something like that or whatever.
Maniacs.
You remember those?
I forgot their name, but Earthquake was one of them.
Oh,
No, it wasn't
yeah.
Earthquake.
Yeah.
It was
He was in
Earthquake.
there?
Max.
Yeah, he was. It was Earthquake.
It was the one walking
Yeah.
with the Cartman doll.
Yeah.
That was Earthquake.
Oh, that was
Earthquake.
Earthquake? Oh, okay.
But he didn't want to be known as Earthquake. 'cause
There
he
you
was
go.
Embarrassed.
Yeah. Because he had the brown mask on, right?
Yeah.
And they just covered his full face, and they wanted him to see him. Anything?
Yeah, he didn't want to see it. He felt embarrassed for that gimmick.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it was that
It was good. It was
for the
good.
Attitude Era. It was entertaining.
Luna's another one.
Luna.
She is in
Savio
it.
Vega. I don't think Savio Vega's gone in. Has he?
Luna,
No.
let's put Luna.
Most of the guys from the Puerto Rican team.
But that's the thing. Those guys would be more like the Jobber Hall of Fame.
Well, that's why
yeah.
we still got like so much room for backup Hall of Famers.
I guess. Yeah.
Outliners, we got AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy could go on his own.
Yeah.
Kurt.
Could. Matt Hardy, too, if you think
Matt
about it.
Hardy. Also, you could headline it. Christian Wayne jumps over. Chris Jericho, you mentioned him.
Well, what put it this way? What are the biggest what if? What if AEW in about a few years create their own Hall of Fame?
I think they already have it, don't
Yeah,
they?
Luna was in the Hall of Fame. She was in 20. She was in the
Nah.
2019 Hall of Fame.
Okay, that one. But no,
Yeah.
they haven't had a Hall of Fame yet at all. But Sting, I think, will be their number one guy.
And I think they'll induct Owen Hart, even though he hasn't been in the EW.
But that's the
spot.
thing. They got Owen. They got the rights to Owen's merchandise. That would be a nice touch-up if AEW does their Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
It could be first Owen, next year Sting,
right.
and then the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett will be another one for their
They're definitely
Hall
gonna
of
put Kenny Omega in there.
Fame. Oh yeah, Candy.
They're definitely gonna do. Well, if Cody, I guess when Cody finally's done wrestling at this point right now, that'll be one for sure. They're gonna put in there.
CM Punk.
Hey, that'll be a controversial, man. We're like, hey, we're the ones that started off.
They put the video as
Right.
all the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Bret Hart on both sides.
But yeah,
Bret Hart, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Bret Hart agrees to be in their little Hall of Fame.
did he appear he appeared on
He
AEW
gave him
before, right?
the title. He
Okay,
showed
yeah.
off the title.
There you go.
The first
He
pay-per-view.
nice looking jacket too for that one.
Yeah, Yeah. So, and people were saying, "Where's your loyalty?" And Bret's like, "Where was my loyalty back
Right.
then?"
That's what it's like for real. What loyalty you're talking about? Like here, like
I
that,
was cool with Bret Hart showing up there. I was like, Bret Hart.
it was fine.
Yeah.
It made sense. It's like it's not bad. I mean, like at that point, like Bret Hart at this point is free reign to do what he wants to do as a legend wrestler,
And he
It's okay.
should, because he got screwed over
Exactly.
big time.
And we already went through the skit in WWE as it was for the apologies, the immense when it came to him and Shawn Michaels. We get it. He's there. Yes, he's rating over Bill Goldberg for all these years.
Man, fuck Goldberg.
That is the only
He said,
that is
"Fuck
the only
over."
bridge that we have to connect. But at this point, it's never gonna connect. But it's okay. He's trying to do what he wants to do, and it's fine. Let him do that.
Oh, so here's another one that maybe never gets inducted either. Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
You do know that Janelle Grant actually did release a couple of statements about Brock Lesnar,
Yep.
and now he's into this bad, hustle. I don't know what's gonna happen, but once your name's already been put on that case,
Yes.
you're kind of good for gone. I don't think he's gonna be coming back at all.
If I wasn't his name being peaked to come back recently.
Eventually, but even then, I feel like they didn't want him back. I think he wanted to come back, but he's like, no, we don't know what's going on with this.
Retire him too. I think
Which is
Brock
crazy.
supposed to come back. The idea was that next year or this year, actually, not Vegas.
Yeah.
This year and next year was supposed to be in Minnesota, WrestleMania,
Uh-huh.
and Brock was supposed to headline it.
Ah, gotcha,
Hall of
gotcha.
Fame.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think so
I
either.
think he's gone. I really do. But that's just what happens, man. I don't know. Like it's
Him and
controversy.
his wife won't be.
Mhm.
Nah, I don't think Sable ever is gonna be in there. But another interesting fact before we log off here.
Mhm.
There's rumors that WrestleMania next year will actually be in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
But isn't this is my thing? Well, what's going on with the whole WrestleMania? When is it they're supposed to be doing WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and fucking Survivor Series all in one shot?
What
Am
are
I
you
right?
talking about?
Oh, no. Well, so
Wasn't
they're
it?
supposed
They didn't
to-
do advertising just recently about that. Like all major 3 events are all going to be in one major city
No, that was gonna be expand in years to come.
to come. That
Yeah.
they're going to do all 3 events. Okay, that's what threw me off when they were announcing it. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't they just announcing? And
Not
we talked about it on the show. That's
Yeah.
what I was like.
Because
all 3
Brock
events
is
in one?
getting, Royal Rumble, I think, next year, right?
next year. Yeah, they're getting the
And
Rumble.
then after that, I think in the next 2 years or something, they get SummerSlam, and then they're gonna get WrestleMania.
Right, because it's supposed Royal Rumble. So it's supposed to be Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
All 3 major events, all going to be back to back in one
So
city in a
pretty much
sense.
expanded, like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, so
So-
not for a while.
So yeah, that's the rumor. New Orleans is gonna get Mania, which would be interesting. Rumor.
Again,
Yeah,
right? Because they got WrestleMania 40? No,
30.
30.
Yeah, they got 30. You were at 30,
They
weren't
got
you?
30 and 34.
34.
I was gonna
30.
say,
I thought they
Yeah,
were.
34 had a really nice entrance level and everything.
yeah. I like that logo.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
34, the only thing that I didn't like about 34 was Cena against Taker was such short lived. That was the only thing.
Wow.
It was funny because I was there. I remember going to the concession stand to buy some chips, to buy nachos. So I'm standing in line, and a whole bunch of people are standing in line with me. Dude, the minute John Cena's theme song hits, everyone that was waiting in line ran their asses up to go get ready for the break.
Right.
I'm like, thank you, guys. I was like, and they're like, John Cena's about to fight. Yeah, that theme song, Taker's gonna take a long ass time to get this ring. I'm like, I got enough time for me to buy my nachos.
That's
Yeah.
facts.
I get that the minute that John Cena does the AA on Elias.
Uh-huh.
So I get to that point. So yeah, that was the only 2 that they did over there at New Orleans.
Yeah.
They were supposed to do Minnesota. I'm surprised that Minnesota didn't fall through.
Well, I think Minnesota's not involved. It's because they try to go to the places that are going to sell more tickets, and not only that, but if you guys do know that actually the city buys them out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Vegas bought out WrestleMania,
Mm.
and I don't think Minnesota has that type of money. They don't bring enough tourism to be like, hey, come to this side. What do you think you see WrestleMania every year in Florida, in New York, in California?
They could be
in
in Chicago,
Texas.
but they don't want to come to Chicago because of how cold it gets over here.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't have a stadium.
No,
Right.
We
No.
need a dome. Once we get that dome, I bet you we're gonna start getting them back over here.
That's a what if.
That's a big what if.
What
right?
if thing? Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, man, that's been your roundabout today, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next time at the
Yep.
Windy City Savage. Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, brother. Dijo Menace. Yeah.